everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am going to do the Moody Tag. I was tagged by Abby of Pelennor, who I will link down below. She's awesome. I love her. Go check her out. I will also link the creator's original video down in the comments below. Not in the comments, in the description box. This has to do with, obviously, mood reading and whether or not you are or are not. So, let's get into the questions. Number 1, do you consider yourself a mood reader? No. My understanding of mood reading is you can't stick to a TBR, and anytime you try, you end up reading 12 completely different books from the 12 you originally picked. 12 being the first number that came to mind. It also means that you could get halfway through a book and just not be feeling it anymore, and therefore you don't read it. I don't do any of that. I may read books outside of my TBR, but generally speaking, I stick to a TBR pretty well, depending on timing. I also don't put a book down and walk away for months, with the exception of The Shadow of the Wind, because I was reading that in Spanish, and it was hard, and I was scared. I did finish it 2019. Like I've said, 2019 is last year, so when I say that, that's what I mean. But generally speaking, no, I am not a mood reader. Number 2, do you set TBRs and stick to them? I sort of answered this in question number 1, but yes I do. I started a wheel of TBR in 2021, and generally speaking stick to them. February's was 9 books and several thousand pages. I still read 23 books somehow, but I was not able to get through all of my physical books, but I had started all of them at least, and I will continue them through March. 3, do books affect you emotionally? Do you mean, do they make me cry? Not often. I can maybe name 5 books. I can name 5 books that have made me cry over the course of 15 years. So, no, they don't make me cry. I have books that'll make me laugh sometimes. I've had books that made me throw them into my futon. Hobby Ward. But generally speaking, I read a book, I finish it, and instantaneously start another one. Number 4, when you're feeling sad, do you like to read sad, happy, or neutral books? Whatever book I currently am reading. Currently I'm reading 5 books, so I have a choice between those 5. But when I'm sad, I just want to escape the world. So it doesn't matter if that's reading a non-fiction about some guy traveling around for water. It doesn't matter if it's a fantasy about a dragon being killed. It doesn't matter if it's a historical fiction about the Holocaust. I will read all of those. Number 5, most often do you use reading to escape, learn, or critically reflect? I think you can do all 3 at the same time. So, all of the above. I am not one of those people who thinks you absolutely have to learn every time you read. I am not one of those people who thinks you only ever have to escape. I think reading is an excellent way to combine escaping, learning, and reflecting all at the same time. You can learn something about a new culture or tolerance or big topics like racism or sexism or fat phobia or whatever in a fantasy book. You can learn it in a children's book. But you can also learn it in a nonfiction book or historical fiction. It doesn't matter, and so often I do all 3 at the same time. 6, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? You remember this whole they don't really affect me emotionally thing? I don't know. I genuinely don't know a book that made me laugh out loud. I can tell you that Winter Keep made me squeal, but I don't know about laughing. Number 7, what is a book that made you cry? If you don't cry, one that moved you? All the Gallant Men by Dawn Stratton. Brightly Burning by Mercedes Lackey. Today We Go Home by Kelly Estes. That one by Kari-ng Kingsbury, sorry. Whew. Clearly I'm trying to block her out. I couldn't tell you the name, but the guy went to war in Iraq. Fiction. Died, and then best friend and dead guy's girlfriend or fiance get together. I would say it's a spoiler, and it is if you can find the book, but I have no idea what the title is. That one, I know I said 5. Oh, the book about the shooting by Marika Nijkamp. Here It Ends, Today It Ends. Something about that. So those 4 anyway. Number 8, what is a book you didn't even know how you felt about after? Dragon Republic. Like, that one just ripped out my heart. There was no crying. I did throw it into my futon, but there was no crying or anything. I didn't really know what to do with myself for about 5 minutes, and then I moved on to another book. And then I went to bed. Anne Frank is probably another one. Didn't know what to do with myself for a hot minute afterwards. Number 9, are you more likely to read on a rainy, sunny, or cloudy day? Whenever. I don't like people, generally speaking, so if you give me a choice between going outside and interacting with human beings, or staying inside, or even going outside and reading a book, I don't care if it's snowing outside, I'm gonna read a book first. Number 10, do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smells, etc.? No, that's way too much work. I do have these lovely wingback chairs, and I have blankets that go with each of them, so I'll sit in a blanket, but TV's off. I don't burn candles unless I'm trying to cover up a smell, generally speaking. And I don't do anything different with the lights because my eyes are bad enough, I don't need help with that. Number 11, do you leap from book to book or do you need buffer time in between? I've answered that question, but I leap from book to book. The longest time I need is however long it takes me to either find the next book, because my piles move, or figure out what I'm reading next. Which is basically going to my shelves and going, that cover catches me, and I read that. So I definitely don't need buffer time between, which is part of why I don't have reading slumps. It's amazing. So those are the 11 questions for the Moody book tag. Thank you, Abby, for tagging me, and if you want to do this tag, consider yourself tagged. I will see you in my next video. Bye!